these critics go on to attack Eastwood for not making an anti-Iraq war film out of American Sniper. So Republican or conservative directors are damned if they do and damned if they don't. He tried to make an apolitical film and just focus on the life of a soldier, and that wasn't enough for the left, who see everything through the very narrow lens of politics. And so they had to politicize the movie in order to attack it for not being politically correct. So that's just the way the left sees everything. So they had to say things like, this is an apolitical movie, which in itself is a political statement. So they just can't. They just can't get out of that mindset, and they acknowledge that the film is well done. They say it's a good movie, but it just wasn't. Just didn't satisfy their need to have the Iraq War politicized.
And like you said, Mark, I mean, it's damned if you do and damned if you don't. I mean, obviously, Eastwood ridiculed by the left for what I thought was brilliant chair thing at the Republican convention 2012. But
now, Mark, have you seen the movie yet? Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
Just, but to portray, and I've read the viciousness. I mean, it from the left on this. How can Chris Kyle be honored or be the subject of adoration or whatever when he was a cold-blooded killer? I mean, it's just beyond sometimes comprehension to me.
Yeah, it is. And one of the things that I think that all Americans should acknowledge is that soldiers they don't have the luxury of being political. They're basically at the service of our country. They're at the mercy of our politicians. They're at the command of their superiors. I mean, what they do is what they are ordered to do. They're ordered to go fight wars. They don't have the luxury of being political. So wherever you stand politically, our soldiers deserve our respect, and they deserve to be honored when they are doing their duty. But that's not enough for some people on the left who, they claim to be anti-war, but they're not really anti-war. They're anti-American, because if they were anti-war, they'd be protesting both sides of conflicts, which they don't. They march on Washington, or they march on, they protest in other areas in other ways, but they don't go after the enemy. So if you were truly anti-war, you'd be attacking both sides, but that's not the left's tendency.
Now, Mark, have you actually seen the movie American Sniper?
Not yet. I'm going to see that this weekend too. But so I didn't. In my article, I didn't review the movie. I only wrote about the critics' response to it and their politicization of it.
Right. I saw. Oh, I forget where it was. There's some national magazine. The guy that reviewed the movie acknowledged right in there he never saw it. I don't know if you saw that.
No, but I'd say, it's one thing to write about, the controversy surrounding the movie, or to write about the critics' responses to it. It's another to to review the movie or write about the movie itself without having seen it. That's I think there's a problem there.
So, Mark, if you were to encapsulate, like in 25 words or less, what you've seen as the left's criticism of this movie, what would that be?
Well, I'm not sure I can encapsulate anything in 25 words or less. But I mean, I would just say that the criticism that I've seen is that the movie that it's very good as a movie. But the critics seem to be disappointed that Eastwood didn't try to attack the Iraq War, that he didn't make it an anti-Iraq war movie. And that just makes the left uncomfortable because they want everything politicized. So that's what I've seen generally, is that it's sort of acknowledged all around that it's a good film, but that it's just not political enough for some critics.
Yeah, I've seen. Oh, by the way, it's the New Republic. I'll put the link up. His review, the guy who wrote in the New Republic, he states in there that the only thing he watched was the trailer.
Wow.
And I'd have to say, man, I did. Oh, for IJ Review, I did an article a couple of weeks ago talking about how Eastwood and Cooper flew to Texas to meet with Chris Kyle's dad. And Chris Kyle's dad said, if you do anything to sully my son's name and memory, I'm going to hunt you down and kill you, which was awesome. But I went to the website. It's AmericanSniperMovie.com, I think. And I watched the trailer just 3 times in a row. I mean, I read Kyle's book within a day or two of it coming out. And I mean, I cannot wait to see. I mean, I understand Cooper is just, I mean, God. He's a white best actor candidate.
The guy that did the screenplay, as well as Kyle's wife, she came out of the movie saying they brought my husband back to life. And the screen.
Wait, no, are you kidding?
Yes, and no, I'm not kidding. And the guy that wrote the screenplay said it was just uncanny. So apparently, they nailed it.
Yeah, the screenwriter actually was a friend of Chris Kyle's. He didn't start out that way. They met, and Kyle was very guarded around him for a long time, actually, as the screenwriter tried to sort of get to know him. And then eventually they became friends. So I think the screenwriter did have, a good personal insight into Kyle.
Yeah, it was interesting. I was listening to it was an interview. Some actor dude, I forget the guy's name. I'd never heard of him before. Was talking about being in the movie, and there was a friend of Kyle's who was in SEAL Team 3. Was somehow interacting with the screenwriter, and then they brought him in to do some consulting, and then they hired him to be a full-on consultant to the movie. And then Cooper suggested that he actually play himself in the movie. Eastwood had him read for the role, which apparently Eastwood does for every single role, no matter who it is. And then Eastwood casted him, and so it was originally written to be, portrayed by an actor, and the guy himself plays himself in the movie, which is so awesome.
Wow.
Yes, I think he should be nominated for Best Non-Actor, the Best Non-Actor category.
There we go.
Yeah, because one of these things that you're and you brilliantly mention in your article about all of these anti-war films, set in a war setting. But one of the things you always wonder whenever you've seen any of these kinds of things is, well, how are they accurately portraying what it's actually like? And to know that they brought a guy in from Kyle's team, not only on the set, but in some cases in front of the camera, it's like, this is going to be killer awesome.
Mm-hmm. I think the actors, Bradley Cooper and Eastwood really took this seriously. And really kind of got their heads inside the soldier culture, much like they did in Lone Survivor. Not Eastwood and Cooper, but Mark Wahlberg and Peter Berg, the director in Lone Survivor. They really get the warrior culture, and they understand our soldiers, and honored that. And I think that's something every American should get behind. I don't care what your politics are. That's what it should be about. That's what these movies really need to be about.
It's just you guys. I mean, we've talked about this on the show before. I mean, you think about the mentality of the left these days after 9/11, right? I mean, it's been a while now, but it's just incredible to me. I mean, this hell-bent desire to vilify the media, the military is back, and to take and this dude was, remove America if you want from the title. This guy was a hero, but to suggest that he was somehow this cold-blooded killer who was only trying to save lives, and particularly those of his comrades. It's just, you know what? Like, I'm not shocked, but it's just, to me, Mark, it's disgraceful.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's not surprising, but at the same time, it's just so disappointing and disgusting. You know, you're not surprised by it, but at the same time, it's hard to get your head around it that people can take that sort of attitude about it. Yeah, that's the mindset that we're up against, I'm afraid.
Right. Well, you know what? Unbelievably so, Mark. We've just blown through almost a half an hour rocking with you. I had 3 other stories set aside here to talk about with you, but I'm afraid, I'm afraid we're out of time. Tell people where they can find you, and maybe something new that we can look forward to coming out in the next couple of days or so, and then we got to let you go.
Let's see. Easiest way is just to go to marktapson.com. That's where I generally collect my articles. Let's see, something coming out. I've written so many I don't remember. Let's see, I'm blanking out. I don't know. I've forgotten. It's all a jumble. But
well, let's put it this way: if somebody puts marktapson.blogspot.com on their favorites bar, they could just check it, every half hour or so and read everything that's there, and they'll be totally up to speed.
That's right.
There we go.
Yeah, you can even just go to marktapson.com, and that will direct you there. So just to simplify it.
All right, cool. Hey, Mark, thank you so much, brother. You have a great weekend.
You too, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Mark. Enjoyed the heck out of it.
We didn't talk about it on the line there with him, but Mark's got another kiddo on the way.
He does.
He does. This will be number 3 for them. That's right.
You know what, dude? Not only is he one of my fave guests, but he's also one of those that we could do like a telethon and have him on for the whole time and never get tired of listening to his brilliance.
Yeah, just like, we were kind of doing that yesterday, going through stuff on Drudge and stuff on Newswhip. It would be a perfect third person to just roll through whatever topics we had to bring up, whether it's politics or movies or computers or cars or shoes.
And exactly. And, this will never happen, nor should it, because, between you and me, being co-host, I mean, nobody could shoehorn in a comment. But I was thinking earlier, to your point, like Tapson would be like an excellent third. Do you call it co-host? Because he gets it, man, and he can talk about anything. There's humor, there's insight. He's a brainiac, and I think I just described you and me as well. So no, perfect.
Yeah, I did think it was hilarious when you said summarize in 25 words or less to a writer.
I know. And he's going, dude, are you serious?
Yeah, that'd be like me asking you to calmly quote what Nancy Pelosi had to say yesterday.
I could maybe do it, well, maybe not 25 words or less, but the operative word there is calmly. No, my blood pressure would shoot up.
Oh, exactly. Hey, in measured tones, would you please discuss Paul Krugman's analysis of the tax code?
And try not to and try not to bite your tongue to the extent that blood runs out of the corner of your mouth.
Right. Don't swallow it.
Anyway, I love that dude, man.
Yeah, super fun. Hey, you know what? I cannot believe that we're done with an hour of the show already, Mike. Why don't you go ahead and take us out?
The reason you can't believe it is that it's a fun show. And folks, again, we implore you, if you like it, tell your friends. And also, we talked about yesterday's show. It was a great show. This one is in the can as a good show as well, almost. Put it up on Facebook, wherever have you, and expose us. How's them not in the way you expose yourself? This is The Right Mics with Mike Miller and Michael Howsam. We will be back for the second hour. Do not go away. Don't go away.
This is Vigilant Liberty